Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is the Aitx show. We're going to talk about Aitx because Steve Reinhardt came out with a video today, Saturday, talking about NASDAQ uplisting 2027 to 2029. I want to talk about that specifically. I don't really care about the rest, everything else he talked about. We know they're going to continue to dilute. In fact, he said when he talked about the plans for uplisting, he did not say anything about not diluting. Like, they're not going to stop diluting for a long time. We know that. So I just want you to accept that. Because some people really think that, oh, we're going to uplist and no dilution. Their stocks, Color stock right now is diluting. Their stock's diluting to buy Bitcoin. So what I'm trying to say is I don't think dilution's going away anytime soon. It's been, 5 years? It's going to be maybe another 20 years before maybe dilution stops. That's my time frame at least. So if you're, if you're like 50 years old, 50 to 70, you're probably gonna croak before Aitx really becomes a monster of a company, which I believe it can do. It's in the right sector for that, but it's right now it's still pretty early and it's still growing. So it's it's not a buy. It's not a buy. I've always said it's not a buy. It's good for flips, but definitely not a long-term hold. I do want to mention that Kscp did uplist from a lower exchange. And if we just make a comparison here, oops, why is my mouse? Where's my mouse? My mouse literally just disappeared. Okay, there it is. Where is it? Kscp. Well, it moves just like Aitx, right? It's the same pattern. If we were to overlay it, which some of you are going to be like, wait, what? You're going to overlay Aitx over Kscp? If we overlay it, yeah, you notice it's kind of got the same pattern, right? It gets some huge pumps, yes, and then eventually just tanks for months, right? It takes Kscp down here, tanks for months, and then it has another big run, right? Has another big run here, Aitx, the blue line, and then it just tanks again, and the cycle repeats, right? It just keeps going down. It just keeps going down, lower and lower and lower with some big pumps along the way. Kscp has that same issue. Let me change Aitx to candles. But yeah, you can see it looks pretty similar, right? For those of you who know the history, you can't deny, it looks pretty much the same, right? It just keeps going down, but as it goes down, there's some pumps. There's some money to be made for the traders more than anything. Longs are the ones that get destroyed because it just keeps doing this. It just keeps going down. They both do the same thing. The difference between the two is one is uplisted already and one hasn't. And if we look at the performance of Kscp, because I have been keeping an eye on this one, to see how it performs after the uplist. It's still doing what it's always done. It's still a pumpy, dumpy stock, as Nick Link would call it from Ibis. It's still a pump and dump. It uplisted and it made no difference. It's still a massive pump and dump. Funny enough, it went from 5 here to 28. So if you're, just to put it into perspective, if you bought Aitx at 25 cents and now you're holding a big bag and you kept averaging down, now you're holding a big bag down there at double zeros. If you're holding a big bag at double zeros, and you would need a massive, massive move on the stock to get out even at break even. So even if Aitx were to make this big move here, let's say it uplists and it just has a big, 6x move, 5x move, because that's pretty big. That's pretty big. But who wouldn't want a 5x, 6x here real quick? But that big move wouldn't really help. It wouldn't help the people that started buying at 25 cents, 30 cents, and then just kept averaging down as it went lower and lower, because their biggest positions tend to be over there, up there at above 10 cents. So even if it does have this massive pump, it's not going to save that many people. It's really the only people that would be able to get out at a profit would be the people that started buying at 002s or 003s. Those are the people that can get out if it were to uplist and make this big 5x move somewhere along the way. Because I don't think we're going to be getting no no, we're not seeing 1 penny again. That's for sure. That's not happening with this kind of share structure. And I think someone did the math. The dilution rate is what, half a billion, which is ridiculous. Every time I have to say that, I'm like, huh? Like, really? I thought it was 5 million. No. It's literally 500 million. It's mind boggling how much they dilute every month. But even if Aitx does have this big pump, you would have to believe that it's going to have that big pump at some point, and once it's uplisted, because let's assume it does follow Kscp, that would be your chance to get out and take your profit. The people that bought at 002s, 003s, and they're buying down here at 001s, the ones that started their positions down there, that would be your chance to get out at a decent profit and don't look back, or just wait for it to come down nice and cheap and buy again, and just kind of keep rinsing it, because that's all it is. It's just about rinsing the patterns. Yeah, because the people holding a big bag at 10 cents, 4 cents even. I mean, from 00, what is it? It's at 00. The stock's at what, 0014? So it would have to move. It would have to move like, yeah, it would have to move 100x just to get to 14 cents. That's insane. Kscp was only able to do a 5x here, from 528, a little over 5x, but I'm rounding down. So right now, the people who have a lot of opportunity to make money on Aitx, it's really the people who are buying down here at 00s, specifically 003, 2, and 1s. You better hope it just doesn't go to like 000s, because if it starts going to 000s and then quadruple zeros, and it just dies off like that, oof, everyone gets destroyed at that point. So I would say I'm bullish on the uplist whenever that does happen, as long as they're not as long as they don't do what Uplist does. For those of you who don't know, Uplist just kind of kept dangling the carrot dangling. Hey, we're gonna uplist this year, 2020. Woo! Nope. Okay, guys, it's happening 2021 for sure. Nope. 2022, guys, this summer we're uplisting. They just kept dangling the carrot. So as long as Steve Reinhardt isn't doing that, then okay, we'll see an uplist happen as late as 2029. As long as they're not dangling a carrot. Because it's going to become carrot dangling if they just keep pushing it like that. And it's smart. You know what? It's smart of Aitx Steve Reinhardt to say, hey, uplist is going to happen somewhere between 2027 and 2029. Because Uplist, the CEO of Uplist, they were kind of stupid. They kind of kept saying, hey, we're going to uplist this year, this summer, and then they would push it to the fall, and then they'd be like, actually, it's happening next year now. When really they should have just said, hey, we're going to uplist between 2022 and 2025. Like, they could have just said that, but they just purposely kept dangling the carrot. Like, hey, this year for sure. So Steve is, he's smart. He's smart. The fact that he's giving that kind of time frame, 2027 to 2029. So, but I hope it's not a carrot dangling situation where 2030 comes around. 2030. When 2030 we'd be dead. But 2030 comes around, and then he just goes, oh, well, it'll happen 2032 to 2035. Because that's just carrot dangling, Derek Kingling. Carrot dangling, just it's just carrot dangling at that point. Just teasing the investor, shaft at that point. To put it that way. So those are my thoughts on the uplist. I think the people who will benefit, assuming this doesn't break down to like quadruple zeros and all that, as long as that doesn't happen, the ones buying down here at 002s, 003s, 001s have a chance at making money upon uplist. I don't know how we'll see what happens though. I mean, it's been 5 years. Not much has happened with the stock besides it destroying shareholders. And Kscp, pretty much the same story, except that it has already uplisted. And it still behaves like a pumpy, dumpy stock, right? It finds a bottom and then it pumps and then eventually, comes down, slowly bleeds out. You have to hope that stops. Because if it's just going to follow Kscp and it's going to continue to do that same pattern as Kscp, aka the Aitx pattern where it just pumps and then just continues lower anyways and breaks support every single time, then the longs are just, it's been a dud. It's a dud for 5 years now, and if it continues to be a dud for another 5, I mean, at some point you got to be like, yeah, let's just move on. I think, let me look at the Aitx Discord, if it's even up, because I heard they took it down. I'm not sure if that's true. Did they take it down? I guess so. I mean, I don't blame them for taking it down. What is there to talk about? Hey, they keep destroying the share price. Wah. Like, that's really all it is. Yeah, I guess they took it down because it's not loading. Unless they moved it somewhere else. But yeah, if Kscp is anything to... If we use that as the quote-unquote measuring stick, it's not looking good for Aitx, other than for the people who started their positions under 003s. And that's assuming it doesn't go to triple zeros, quadruple zeros, etc. Like, if the dilution kills it like that, then it's just kind of, everyone's done for it at that point. Because HCMC, I believe, has a massive, yeah, this one's at like quadruple zeros. I think it had like it was, yeah, this one has like a massive share structure, like in the billions, like 550 billion in outstanding shares, I think. And it just died off because it doesn't matter how much people buy, it doesn't matter how much volume comes into it. It has so much outstanding. There's so much, so much supply, so many shares that it doesn't matter. Like, it would require so much buying pressure for this to even move. And that's why it's sitting at, what is it? Is this really quintuple? 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. It's at quintuple zeros. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, like, just be very careful. Because if this could happen, when you dilute that much, that the share price just can't even go anywhere, at that point it just starts to die off to triple zeros, then quadruple zeros. And some of you think I'm joking, but I'm showing you right now. I think this one used to be at like double zeros, no? Yeah, it used to be at 006, then 005, 3, 2, 1, and then triple zeros, and then yeah. Because you can't be diluting like crazy. It catches up, and it destroys the longs more than anything. Alright, that's it for the video.